Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Freya Rodger and I'm Head of Marketing and Communications at World Physiotherapy. I've recorded 3 short videos to share with you how marketing and communications work together to build strong connections, amplify campaigns and ensure your message reaches the right people at the right time. I've also recorded 2 video interviews with physiotherapists. Ariana and Mirjana are both physiotherapists and they share their experiences with me of developing communications to support and deliver campaigns and information. Now, I like to think of marketing and communications as the glue that holds an organization together. Marketing is about developing a brand or a product, and communications is about telling people about that brand or that product. So together, they help people understand, connect, and take action. There are many aspects to marketing and communications, everything from branding, campaigns, content, analytics, and social media. In this video, I'm going to focus on communications, developing your message, sharing it effectively, and shaping campaigns that truly resonate with your audiences. So communications activity requires a mix of skills, understanding audiences and using data, creating content for websites, for social media and for print, and of course, making sure that you have the right people and the right resources to help you deliver your message. If you don't have the right people in place, you may need to rethink your plan because a strong message needs strong resources and support to reach its intended audience. Now, we all communicate every day. We communicate at work, we communicate with our friends and with our families. But organizational communication requires planning. And why is that important? Because you want to make sure that your message is heard, but you also need to make sure that your message, or you want to make sure that your message is understood and that it's acted upon. So I always go back to 5 key questions when I'm shaping communications. Who do I want to communicate with? What is it that I want to say? What's the message I want to get across? Why am I saying it? Am I saying it because I want somebody to take action? When is the right time to deliver that message? And I would always say, never send anything on a Friday afternoon. And how will you deliver that message? What's the platform that you want to use to get your communication out? Now, communication comes in many different forms. Verbal, which is what I'm doing right now. I'm talking to you. Non-verbal, which is about your body language, your tone, gestures, and your facial expressions. There's also written communication, and that can include emails, articles, social media posts, and publications. And then there's also visual communication, and that includes photos, graphics, videos, where you might be showing people your message, not just telling them. At World Physiotherapy, we pay special attention to visuals because we want to make sure that people can see themselves represented in the images that we use, because for us, inclusivity matters. I also want to say something here about artificial intelligence, or AI. Now, the use of AI is becoming more and more part of our daily lives, and it can be a real asset in developing communications. You could use AI to create or edit a news story, draft social media posts, create a PowerPoint presentation or a speech. If you do decide to use AI to help in your communications activity, I would always suggest you review and edit the AI generated draft. This is to make sure that the content is correct, that the language reflects you and your organization, and that the terms that are used in the AI generated content are relevant to your audience. Now, I use AI because it helps me make good use of my time, but I never rely on the first draft of any communication that's been created by AI. Strong communication requires both a strategy and a plan. The strategy is all about the big picture, the goals, the objectives, and the direction that you want to set. And the plan, that's about the detail. It's the steps that you want to take, the platforms you'll use, the resources that you might need, and the timing of the delivery of your communication. And timing really is everything. Too often, I see people develop projects and only think about communications at the very end. And that doesn't work because it means there's no chance for communications to be developed effectively. Communication needs to be considered right at the start of any project or activity. That's to make sure that your message has got the best chance of being received, of being understood, and being acted upon. Of course, there are always barriers. It can be about communication overload. It can be about language differences, unclear messages, or even personal biases. So what's the solution? So some of the solution is about making sure that your message is clear, that it's inclusive, and that it's timely. And remember, there are so many channels to deliver communications: websites, emails, social media, WhatsApp, newsletters, in-person meetings, webinars, and it can get very noisy. We all have our own preferences about how we like to receive information, and that can be different for different organizations and different activities, and it can also change over time. Some organizations I only like to receive emails from. Other organizations, I'm quite happy for them to text me. So it can vary from one person in terms of how they want to receive the information and the platforms that they prefer to receive it on. Now, one of the challenges is to find the right mix so that you, as the communications person or delivering the person with the responsibility to deliver communications, is reaching the right people with the right message on the right platform at the right time. And that might mean that you need to use um, a whole variety of different communication channels to make sure that your message gets across. So some of the channels and platforms that we talked about: in person. So this can be meetings, it can be events and conferences. Digital, we talked about website, email, social media, WhatsApp, webinars. There are lots of different ways for people to receive information and for you to deliver your messages. So if you're thinking about how to improve your communications, on the left-hand side of this slide, you can see some of the things that I'm suggesting you could do more of. So it's about making sure you know your audience, keeping your message clear and concise, choosing the right platform or channel, planning when you're going to send your communications, evaluating and reviewing the impact, and asking for advice, talking to colleagues about what you could do differently to improve your communications and maybe even stop doing some things. On the right hand side of the slide, you can see the things that I'm suggesting you might want to do less of. But the key is about thinking about what you're going to do, telling people what you're going to do, telling them what you're doing, and then telling them what you did, and reflecting on that. Finally, I would always say never underestimate the power of storytelling. Real people sharing real experiences connect with audiences far more deeply than facts alone. Now, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'll look at brand and campaigns in future videos. Thank you.